Welcome back, everyone, to another episode of Backlash Angling. We got a bit of a different one here for you. This isn't your standard. We're gonna go out fishing. We're dealing with fish, but we're doing the opposite. We're going trapping, and we're searching for some bait today. So I looked online on YouTube to see if this video is worth putting together, and noticed that there really wasn't too much or anything well detailed about salting your own minnows. So that's what this video is going to be composed of today. If it doesn't interest you, skip on, go check out some more of our videos. But if you're interested to learn and maybe save yourself some money, stick with it. So it is November 25th today, I believe, and the water temperatures around our area are starting to get into that high 30s, low 40s, super cold. And yeah, we're going after the minnows. So if the first step for that I would suggest for you guys, if no matter what body of water is, if you're looking for minnows, you're gonna be looking for some more of a shallow area, something with maybe some flow in it where it's super oxygenated, something so some flowing water, cold water, that's what you're looking for, and areas where they can school up and be protected. So we have a perfect little area that we found last year. We did a bunch of salted minnows last year, but we're taking it up this year a little bit of a notch, and we got containers this year, and we're going to try to triple or even quadruple the amount we had from the year prior. So I'm just waiting for Zach right now, and then once he gets here, we're going to get to it, and we're going to get right there. We're going to stealth our way down, put the GoPros up, we'll grab the camera, and I'll show you kind of how much minnows there are at this place and just how we go about catching them, and then we'll get into the more content about how you salt them and everything. So yeah, like I said, if you're interested, stick with it, and yeah, we'll see you down where the minnows are. Yeah.
Said you don't think there's anywhere?
There's some big ones. Here, Eddie, help me out. That's a decent one. That's like 3 dozen. Good one. Good one. Good one. Set. That's a decent one. That's a good haul. I think it's more than you think. Like that's a day on the water for a person. I think we're gonna get a good haul here. Ready? Good on you. Ready? Okay. Not great. Not great, but whatever. That's still 2 dozen. Two. That was pathetic though for the amount of fish that were there. Like that was there's so many minnows there. Okay, so we just got back. I really don't know how much GoPro footage we even had. We were kind of pressed on time. We got there with like 30 minutes before light. So usually we have time. Usually we go midday, which allows us to actually see the minnows. So I'd highly suggest don't leave it to the last second of the day, because then you're throwing your cast net blindly and it's just hard to see it. But as you can see, like, we got a good chunk. We got, I would say, close to 500 minnows, which isn't a bad haul. And for this early in the season, we're pretty happy about that. We'll probably do 1 or 2 of these loads, and hopefully next load in a couple of weeks is like triple that, so we only have to do it twice, because the salt process, like I said, it does take some time. So all right, well, I'm gonna pass it over to Zach because he knows a little bit better about what's going on, and then he'll explain our next steps. Alrighty, so we got the minnows in the water. We took the water from the lake, so you basically just kind of want to have enough to keep them submerged. So yeah, there's a pretty good haul in there. But what you want to do is add, for this amount, I'd say probably about a cup of salt, around that. And basically what you're trying to do is just get that nice salted water. First of all, it'll kill the minnows quickly, and second of all, it firms up the scales, because what you want is those scales to stay on. That way when you do the process of it, they stay nice and shiny. So we got a bit there. Give it a bit of a stir, make sure they're all kind of coated. They'll die pretty quickly in through that, firm up, and then we'll salt them. Alrighty,
So these guys have been soaking in the brine for about just over an hour or so. And as you can see, they're pretty much dead. There's a couple here that are doing a couple little flickers, but they're pretty much there. So now what you want to do, get a big table like this, line it with paper towel. You really want to get all that water off them. So what we're going to do, I'll kind of show you one here. We're going to take about a half scoop like this. Drain her right out as much as you can. Just like that. And then kind of just spread her right around. And what you want to do is kind of have it all single layer, just like that. And what we're going to do, we're going to let that dry off. We'll pat it down, and then we're going to add it into the salt. So make sure you got a big container that you're going to have the salt. Get a bit of a base layer down, and we'll cover it up after that. So we're going to do this, cover this. We're probably going to cover basically both these tables here. Have them all single file, and then see how much we have. Alrighty, so we got them all layered out here. We're trying to guess at how many we have. We're thinking maybe between 800 and 1,000, something around that. So what you want to do is, you know, get this, pat them nice and pat them right down. Try to get as much as you can. As you can see, they're still pretty shiny, so they're holding their scales there. So just kind of do that. Try not to get much of the scales off, but get as much of the water as you can. And then once we get that done, we're going to put them in the salt. So we got them all patted down here. Basically what you're going to want to do, take a bit of a handful or two. We got the big salt bin here. Toss them in like that. Do a couple more like that. And then what you can kind of do is just make sure they're nice and coated. Do that about another 20 times. And
20 to 30.
and we'll be good. But you want to make sure that they got a good coat on them, and then that's going to take all the fluids out of them. And what we're going to do for these size, I'd say we're going to need them in there for around 3 hours. If they're bigger, you might need a little bit more. There's a nice jumbo right there. Coated. There we are. Ready. So, we elected to put them in 2 batches here, because as that salt draws out the fluid, you'll find that you'll get a bit of fluid collecting in the bottom, so we figured divvy it up. Probably used 6 kilograms of salt between them all, so about 10-15 bucks really in materials. So other than that,
Wow.
not too bad.
To explain it, and anybody who goes ice fishing, that's probably $10.
Yeah.
So yeah, huge money being saved.
Yeah. So now you gotta wait probably about 3-4 hours. What you can do too, check on them once an hour if you're getting a lot of fluid build up in the bottom. Add a bit more salt, and then that'll just soak up that fluid. So now it's time for a beer, and we wait.
Yeah. Oh my god, ice fishing season! Can't wait.
So we're 4 hours later here. Come on in. That's what we got. So they're starting to firm up there a little bit. Ellie's loving it. Is that good? So what we're gonna do, we're gonna take these. We're gonna take that first brine that we had, put her in like that, give her a good rinse off, get all that excess salt off. You can see they're nice and firmed up, just like that, nice and shiny. Get over here on the paper towel, and then what we're gonna do is we're gonna dry out for about an hour or so, and then we'll put them in the pucks. So let's do that about another 100 times here. Alrighty, so we got them all drying here. I'm thinking we're close to 1,000 minnows for sure here. And then what we're gonna do, we leave them for about an hour. And then what we're gonna do is put them in these pucks here. We're hoping to get about 40 or 50 in each one. And yeah, we'll check back in an hour when we're doing that. So last step here, basically what we're doing, kind of putting in about, I aim for about 60. So just going through like that. Go over this way here. We actually kind of undershot what we thought we had. And I think we're actually going to be over about 1,500 all said and done. So we got the lids for these bad boys. Cover them up. They'll go in the freezer. We'll be ready for the hard water. So hopefully you guys enjoy that video and you guys can make your own salted minnows and start slamming fish on the hard water. Cheers.